listening.
The time is now 9:22. St.
It's
Vincent and the
Ari's
Grenadines. It is my fault. That was my fault. And we're
is.
back with Activated Mornings this morning. This is a part of Activated Mornings where we allow the listeners to call and we have our discussions. Number to call 457-9997. Also the number to WhatsApp 457-9997. This morning we are talking Sassy Man Apocalypse. My apologies. Yes, the Sassy Man Apocalypse. What is a Sassy Man? So according to NBCU.
Yeah, say it slow.
Yeah,
Sassy
Because
Man
it's on.
Apocalypse.
Wait.
So when I saw morning listeners,
Good morning,
Hope-
Aurelie
hope you're
is joining
good.
us.
Hope you're good. So when I saw Ari put it in the chat, I was like, what does this even mean?
That's so.
And take Ari to find it too, to
Oh,
put
no,
that
it's
topic.
all over on social media.
Listen, you
So,
spend too
Your
much time on
social
social
in the
media.
past, you have to. In the past, the word sassy has been used as a dig word towards expressive men online. But one TikTok creator is turning the descriptor into a badge of honor. So, Parag Mishra, 25, has charmed TikTok users with its expressive mannerisms, quippy attitude, and playful dancing over the past 3 weeks. In that time, he has grown his following from 29,000 to 2.5 million Pookie Bears. Now, I've seen him.
What's
I've seen
his
his
name?
TikToks. Parag, Prayag.
Prayag.
Mishra.
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, so he's Indian.
The rest will pop up by itself.
So sassy men have been a divisive topic on social media over the past year. First coined on X, formerly Twitter, in 2022, according to online meme-based data Know Your Meme, the sassy man apocalypse has been used to describe the prominence of expressive men with bigger attitudes, which have been deemed feminine. Initially, sassy was typically used in a derogatory or homophobic manner. Viewers would call male TikTok creators sassy if they seem too effeminate. No, I was on
all of that I understand.
I was on West Indian Maid earlier this week, and someone, a Twitter user, had posted. Her name is Los Ciara on Twitter. Men that are blank are sassy. So she has 14 points to describe sassy men. Men that can cook, men that argue with women they don't know on the internet, men that let their girl pump their own gas, men that argue on the internet or have internet beef altogether, men that expect their girl to go 50-50 on bills, men that wear tighty whities, men that brush the back of their tongue and gag, men that call Target Tar J, men that drink out of a straw, men that know how to dance too good, men that don't know how to change a tire or do an oil change, men that wear a fanny pack, men that are homophobic, men that post too many pictures on social media. How do you guys feel about that?
Not the man for me.
A sassy man.
A sassy man. I'm looking at Prague. So a sassy man is what I'm picking up is he has like a bit of feminine qualities, but he is straight. Right? Okay, cool. So I don't even think I would class a man who like does petties and manis as like a sassy man point blank. I think that's something that men are it's for me, I'm like comfortable with any kind of man doing that. But the attitude part was a little irking for me. Like because to me sassy is like you have a bit of an attitude. And it's not something, as you said, a bit of derogatory.
I'm thinking of the sassy guys, the one who would do the snap fingers and twirl and that kind of thing. That's how I am thinking.
I'm not pumping my own gas. Are you crazy?
Right.
No. Which dishes wash? Hello. These nails, I just did them. I'm not touching the water.
So, what I believe, right, where I believe it came from is from men who have an attitude in general when dealing with certain things, or men that are quote unquote soft by women. So this week, when I saw men who can cook are sassy.
Oh,
That's why I
Lord.
thought, okay, they're crossing the line. Hey, what you mean?
No, because
I can cook, I am
I
sassy.
think the list is ridiculous. And this is why, I think sometimes we have to be so careful with accepting things that we find on social media wholesale. Because listen, on that list, I need a man who could cook. Hold on, let me go through the list. Hold on, because homegirl not doing it every day. Where is it in the chat? Let me find back the chat.
Let me
Send it
send it again
back
for
here.
you, so you could
Because I cannot
pinpoint
possibly
it.
put a man who can cook on a list of being sassy. That's ridiculous.
No, that's a common thing.
Cook
basic life, man.
is what, and it's a life skill,
Right?
right?
Exactly.
It's not gender based. It's a life skill because we can die. The other thing, let me see what else on this list. Argue with women they don't know the internet.
That could be an egotistical thing too.
Yeah, and I mean, I think sometimes it's a level of maturity as well because I don't see, I could never understand the back and forth on social media.
Yeah, I can
never understand it, right? I can understand you making your points, but I'm not spending whole day going back and forth with anybody, right? Let her girl pump her own gas. Now there are some of us as well. I don't know how to pump my own gas, but then again, we have gas attendants
I
here.
think
but
a lot of intentions don't know how to pump their own gas.
yeah, male and female, right? But if he lets his girl pump her own gas, suppose she chooses to pump her own gas, right?
If he forces her to do it and refuses to do it himself, then
or if he plays passenger, king or queen, we go say king or queen in this case. But anyway, king all the time in terms of letting her do it all the time. Well, then maybe he right off, right? Argue on the internet beef. I would say that he doesn't have a job, or he doesn't know how to spend his time wisely, right? Because you cannot be spending your time back and forth on the internet. Expect that girl to go 50-50 on bills. I don't see an issue with that.
How you feel about that?
50-50 on bills. I think you should go the ratio of your income.
Right. But let's say
based on what you can afford.
But let's say it's a case where we're going out on dates. Would I always expect him to pay, or can I treat him occasionally?
If he allows you to treat him, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So depends on the guy. But 50-50, I think for me, after a while, it depends on the guy too. I wouldn't mind. I also wouldn't mind you paying 100. I don't mind like me treating you, but it depends on the dynamics of the relationship. So that to me is like asterisks.
Are both of you guys on TikTok?
I'm on TikTok.
Have you seen the TikTok page Guy with a List?
No.
So essentially, there was a term called ick, guys that give you the ick, or what gives you the ick. And a lot of women were
I feel
on
so much
social
older
media.
than you sometimes, because
you are so much older than me. But a lot of women on social media talking about things that give them the ick. So it could be guys that walk a certain way, guys that act in a certain manner, guys that do certain things. Now, Guy with a List has compiled all of these videos on TikTok. If they're posted and he sees it, he incorporates it. He is now at 680 something points that women have made. And a lot of them are stupid. Men that iron give me the ick.
I've seen a couple of videos with that. Like people going around the streets and
asking what gives you the ick. Yep. And he collects the videos and he posts them onto his page and he created a list. No.
But you know that there could be little things that could be a turn off, but what gives Christal the ick mightn't give me the ick, so what is the purpose of the list actually? To do what? Is it comic relief? More like comic relief?
The purpose of the list is to point out how trivial and nonsensical a lot of these icks are. But I brought it up to say, right, as it relates to the Sassy Man Apocolypse. Jesus. They're saying, women are saying that majority of men are now moving away from being the masculine type man to this quote unquote sassy man. Now, I think women have been asking for men to be more open and have conversation, or they need emotional maturity. They should be able to express themselves. They should be able to do certain things. But then, on the flip side, you're saying Nah, don't do those things. Because if you do those things, you're kind of sassy. Because why you telling me about your feelings? You more into your feelings than I am?
The list there doesn't have feelings.
No,
being
that is
sassy.
a list from one post. I'm talking about things that I've seen on social media, but the list is to use as reference. But I'm pretty sure if you hashtag it, sassy man, you will find a lot of stuff. Because it's something that's been going on for the past, I would say, year and a half.
What do people? What I suppose it's now. What do people look for in other persons? And are you basing the things that you look for on what you see on social media? Because for me, a turn off for me is a guy who acts like nothing ever bothers him, right? Because you are human. You are going to go through certain things, and I need to be, well, as Christal said before, I need to be a safe space and to be able to tell me what is happening with you. You know, so if you're going to put up this facade of always being tough and nothing ever bothers you and you're always in control, it's a lie. And I'm not dealing with a man who's going to lie about something as simple as his feelings. Right?
So
okay, sorry, go ahead.
I remember I saw a post. A woman posted saying, I don't want a man who's always going through something. Like, why is life fighting you? And like statements like that
could kind of be you know, sometimes they say that you attract certain things. So what about his mindset and what about his actions and what he says to himself and to other people that is always attracting? And is it that he's at a point in his life where he still has not been able to manage like challenges and stressors? So like that could be like an indication of emotional regulation or emotional dysregulation. Emotional dysregulation. So I could kind of see where she's coming from.
I think for me though, it's a complainer, right? Whether man or woman, I have an issue with people who constantly complain, and it's complaining and not finding a solution. So if it's a man who is going to constantly be complaining, let's say, and the famous thing is, I don't like my work, right? You're getting up every day, you are complaining about not enjoying what it is you're doing for a living. You're not enjoying the job that you have to do. But yet I see you making no efforts to change the job. That would be a red flag for me.
Yeah, I think that's a difference.
Right?
I think that's a difference here, because you can't just only be complaining and making zero effort to improve the life that you live in. Then that says a lot about you and your character. But here are some things off, guys, with a list.
Just put it off fast.
Don't walk up steps. Don't have fun with your child. Don't play VR games. Don't eat chicken nuggets. Don't have OCD. Don't go ziplining. Don't be affected by wind. And I remember, don't be affected by wind. The guy's girlfriend.
Which kind of wind?
The guy's girlfriend took a video of a very strong wind blowing, and it kind of like tipped him over, and she's like, that gives me the ick.
How old are these people who do these videos?
It's adults. They're adults.
Give you an age. Stupid.
They're adults. Don't try to keep your balance. Don't take your child to the beach. Don't have an Android. You know, it gives me the ick, guys with Androids.
Every time I see and hear these things, I get more and more turned off by dating.
I get more and more worried about the upcoming generation, thinking that
have
these
their
are
own set of problems.
These are things that are acceptable as things to look out for.
Poor
if
child.
a man tips over because of the wind, if a wind is strong, well, what he's supposed to do?
You know what's going to happen? Valentine's is coming. You ain't got no boyfriend.
But you know, the thing is, I don't think this is very Caribbean. I think it's very UK, US.
What's the difference?
The sassy guy thing. No, not white. But we know even Black Americans are a little different. And Black people from the UK, they're a little different than we are.
Boy, the kind of things I just wish I didn't know here. And I just have to learn, like, continue.
I guess my question to you guys, now that we have context, is what separates a masculine man from a feminine or sassy man?
Before we go forward, right? Google, trust the Google, I guess. You know, when you put in something there to search, they come up with like, people also ask. So people also ask, can you use sassy for a man? It says, no. Sassy is not limited to girls or women. It can be used to describe boys or men as well. The term sassy generally refers to someone who is lively, bold, and full of spirit, often with a bit of a cheeky or irreverent attitude. I could take the lively, bold, full of spirit, cheeky, but bad attitude, sassy or not, is like a huge turn off. So I think for me, that's a deciding factor.
But I've never heard or realized that sassy could be used in the context of a man. I've always heard of sassy in relation to women.
And I think that's the point.
Right.
Man just want everything woman have.
Lord, I believe that women coined the phrase sassy towards men to point out a lack of masculinity.
And
but you're saying that this man is embracing it.
Well, this one man is embracing
He's
it.
not the only one.
He's not the only one, because when I saw the post that said, sassy, if you can cook, you're sassy, I reposted it. I'm a battle and I'm built like a Barbie. What you mean men that can cook sassy? That's nonsense.
It is.
No, stay single for a very
but
long
then
time.
And hungry too.
Back to my question. What determines a masculine man, in your opinion, as women?
Oh Lord, boy.
A man who knows how to take care of himself and, by extension, his family. A man who is confident. He knows that. A man who provides, right? He is emotionally stable enough. He is secure in himself, intelligent, stupidness. A couple other, what are the other masculine traits? Physically, I like him to be like stronger than I am. Because when that jar of jelly been in the fridge for a while, I can't open it. Hello. Yeah. I'll stick there for now, off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think for me, it's somebody who I can take the lead from, or who can lead me, right? Now, of course, everybody would know that I'm very opinionated. I don't generally stay quiet. So I still need somebody who could, even though I might be opinionated and I might be independent in terms of being able to get up and do things for myself, I still need to go to you as my source of guidance, right? You're not going to lead me astray. You are going to lead me in the right direction. I can take direction from you. I think I would appreciate somebody who could be proactive, right? In terms of, I don't necessarily have to be saying, okay, well, this needs to be done, that needs to be done. I don't want to have to be directing anybody around, right? If something is there to be done, if let's say there's something in the home to be fixed, I don't need to have to get behind you all the time to go and deal with whatever it is, right? A masculine man for me. Built also, taller would be great. As a 5'4" person, taller would be absolutely lovely, because I can't always reach things. What else? I think for me, and it's not about being a soft man here, somebody who can open up and let me in, right? As I said, I don't need somebody who's going to act like nothing ever phases them, right? Easy to look at would be lovely. I don't mind the lusting. And I mean, I think sometimes being able to, and while it is that I say easy to look at and lusting, right? Sometimes it's not just necessarily physical, but when you feel that emotional connection to somebody, whether or not to everybody else, they're absolutely drop dead gorgeous. To you, that's your person who's going to be attractive to you, right? So it's emotional mixing with everything. But I like to be able to see from a distance, oh, that's my man. I am lusting off of my man, what else? Securing himself in terms of his finances, right? Or even if he hasn't gotten to the point of where he actually wants to be in life. He's working towards it, right? There would be no leeching off of me or me having to push, right? I can be a source of encouragement, yes, but I don't necessarily need to be the one to push you. It has to be innate. You have to be able to do it for yourself. It's kind of long. It's so long. Sorry.
Well, no, apologies. I would add two things to that: leadership and masculinity. I think has to be able to provide a safe space for a woman. So I'll throw in those last 2 pointers and
And
I-
also, sorry,
Right.
conversational skills, right? If I say something and you're not happy with it, do not walk away from me. Let me know how you feel in that moment, right? Don't bottle it up. Don't wait until, like when your parents put up plaques and they accumulate and accumulate. Do not do that. Don't wait to have a big blowout. Let's talk, let's discuss it. Don't ever leave the house angry. Let's have the conversation about it. Go in another room and breathe a little bit and then come back if I really get you that upset. But we have to be able to talk about things, talk through things.
You know what's funny though? I think
Ari.
funny sad.
No, you've been trying to come in. You did
Sorry.
ask us.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, go
I
ahead,
think
go ahead.
funny sad is that some of the qualities that we're listing, I think are basic human qualities.
Yep.
And we have to like pen them down under man or woman, because some men would say that about women too, certain things about women. And we have to say, this is what I want from masculine men and from feminine women. But essentially, they're just like human elements. It's sad, I find.
I just think it funny how 3 single people in here talking about what they want.
No, I mean, we need to
it's
have
masculinity we're talking
Yeah.
about. Like, how
and we
do we
need
view it,
and
right?
we need to have our lists as well, because if we don't, then we're going to just pick up every and anybody.
So when do we separate preference and oh gosh, I forget the word. But you said you prefer easy on the eyes and taller, preferably. Those are 2 things that I'm singling out of the
Right.
list, right? Because when a guy says, okay, I prefer a girl with a certain shape, or I prefer a girl with a certain texture hair, or I prefer a girl with a certain skin tone, I prefer a girl with a flat stomach, then all of a sudden this man becomes misogynistic, disgusting. Why is this?
Depends on who
Why
you're
is he
talking
body
to, though.
shaming? Why is he body shaming women? But I feel generally when women like something, it's preference. When a man likes something, it's usually attacked as something is wrong with that man.
I get what you're saying, but that's like for me. I have had instances where, so I remember one guy in particular on my WhatsApp status. So he'd always be putting up these pictures of these really thick girls, right? The thick ladies. And he would make comments about these ladies, like this is the type of woman that he likes. Now, when it came around, then he messaging me and telling me that he likes me. And that was like no, I said, I'm not even going to venture further with this. I'm not even going to engage him, because I can clearly see that he has a preference. And I see absolutely nothing wrong. If you have a preference, then date your preference. Now, I'm not saying to be superficial in the sense where it's only going to be about, let's say, the body type, right? Because there are other things that should accompany the body type that you're going for. Other things have to play a part in that. But if you have a preference, I see nothing wrong with that.
Is having a preference and then dating outside of your preference I have a problem with. Because, like, okay, are you settling because you cannot get your preference?
And are you going to? And let me tell you, and I've had
are you using me, dog?
And because I'm small, so I always had somebody who would comment about my size, and I'm like, but you saw my size from the get go. Why are you going to comment about me putting on weight and this and that? Is like, that makes no sense. If you appreciate everything else about me, but my size isn't what you want, go date your size. And I literally said, go date your size.
So let's also consider your personality, because what if this is what I'm usually physically attracted to, but what drew me in about you is your personality?
Right.
Then does that discount everything else?
So I've also been in a situation.
Been in situations like situations.
I've also been in a situation where I figured that the person had a body type, and I commented about it. And he's like, it has absolutely nothing to do with body type. It had everything to do with your personality. So, it was okay in that instance because my personality won him over. But I mean, that's why I said it can't be superficial in the sense. So you're only looking at one particular thing. If you have a package deal in terms of you get your body type preference and your personality, you're probably going to win in that situation. But if my personality stands out more than my body type, then good.
I think what makes the difference is priority. What do you have as priority? Do you have the personality, or do you have, because, like, okay, human to human, we are going to be, we all have a preference, and we are going to be sexually attracted to a certain type of person, certain type of mate. Goes without saying. But if it is that you are going to treat it with a certain imbalance as you're going to pursue only
right,
Mhm.
right,
and solely
Mhm.
because of like type, then more than likely, even if you're with a woman, if you see another woman with a similar body type that looks better than
Mhm.
your woman in your perception, then your eyes are gonna veer over
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
that.
And when
woman.
would it
So,
stop and when would it end?
Yeah, like a man is trash, but
But I could say
it's another
that
day.
I like women with locks. I like seeing Rasta women. That's what I usually attracted to. But my last girlfriend was Latina. So
Mhm.
Did you settle?
no, I did not. I don't think that I settled at all. At all, at all, at all. So I do think that preference and types only take you so far.
Yeah. But I think sometimes, the age factor may also play a part in it, and I made the comment last week about, men going bald and they getting bigger stomachs and so forth. And there are times when I do wonder if, because some persons are getting older, is it a case where when they do marry, let's say later in life, is it that they have settled or they've just found the person who they actually wanted?
They've settled,
Mm.
like
And you
emotionally
make do.
maturity.
Mm.
You either like make do,
Mm-hmm.
so you're able to choose better,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
maybe. Or some people's like, oh God, I get old.
And that's it. Is it
Let me find somebody
Right,
fast.
right,
Nah, it
right.
could be a bit of stay single, folks.
Lord. That's your advice. But like my opinion on it is yes, there are
What makes
guys.
what makes a masculine man in your opinion, Ari?
What makes me a masculine man?
No, what
but
makes
what's
men
men
masculine? Give me some masculine points.
Conflict resolution, ability to provide and protect, ability to lead. And but I always say I do not believe that your ability to lead is dependent on finances. Because even before, when men were leading, men used to come home and give the woman the entire paycheck. So your finances wasn't even your finances back then. And now we've seen more and more women becoming more successful in their fields, actually sometimes more successful than the man and making more money than the man. But if we're in a home together and we've decided to enter into a serious relationship together, then it's how we manage those finances and the income that we're gathering together as a team. I do believe that what also makes a masculine man is the way he treats others. Which is
Okay.
why I do think it's funny for persons to say it's sassy to cook. I should be able to cook for my partner. I should be able to cook for my children.
For yourself.
I should be able to cook for myself. I should be able to look out for my friends. But the ability, again, how you treat others, how you treat your friends, and etc. and etc. That's actually my opinion.
Okay. Sometimes I wonder if being a man just means being leading means just being
That's
a man.
very
'Cause-
traditional because I could be fashionable and masculine.
I was trying to like look up quickly like feminine and masculine stuff, but maybe for another time because
Yeah, it's 9:50 and we have to do
we're over time.
community every Friday now. We have to do community
I blame you
dateline.
though.
Wow.
Easy topics.
I blame Ari. Big up to the listeners. I'm sorry. Couldn't like take responses on what's not.
Maybe we could read a few quickly before we end the segment.
We had community
Oh no,
deadline
that's way too
today.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, they just keep
Yeah,
going and
yeah,
going.
yeah.
We'll read them after.
Yeah, if we have time. Hopefully we have time.
As in after work, I'm sitting on reading.
WEFM.